Hi, this is Hanna Podbielski, and this is my lab number 4 internal rotation gait pattern from the posterior view. And for this test, I will just be looking for whether or not I have the appropriate knee flexion, the correct lumbar spine curvature, and the correct amount of hip flexion in order to determine a tight psoas complex. So I'll play the video as I walk backwards and we'll see what this test shows us. So as I start walking backwards, we can already see that there's hardly any knee flexion. If we're going to watch, we'll play this one back a little bit. If we watch my left knee as I'm coming backwards, hardly any flexion at all. And if we're looking at my feet as we keep going, let me put a little bit of a circle around what we're looking at. As I'm walking backwards, as I put my foot down, I should be internally rotated, but instead there's external rotation, which is indicative of a positive, it's positive for tight hip flexors or tight psoas complex. And let's keep going. We're still seeing the exact same thing. My foot is everting. There is hardly any knee flexion. And looking at this angle, it seems that there is an excessive curvature of my lumbar spine, which also is a compensation that my body is making for tightness in those hip flexors. So we'll keep going. And then we come back forward.
You're so tight.
Again, we're observing the
Why are you sorry?
gait and seeing that I'm having a psoatic limp, as shown by the fact that my leg is swinging instead of picking my knees up and flexing them normally. And it's coming outside rather than being able to flex at my hip, which is showing me that I do have hip flexor tightness. And then we'll continue the video.
Now big steps backwards.
With the big steps backwards. And again, it's very pronounced that there is basically zero knee flexion as we're looking at it right here.
Forwards.
And big steps forward. This one's very pronounced looking at how my leg swings. We're seeing how it swings from around the side. So I'll back it up a little bit. Looking at it right here, my leg will start and it'll kind of come around and back like that. So moving forward, it's going to kind of follow the line that I drew. It's coming around and placing forward. And then moving backwards just a little bit, just to note the foot eversion again. It's an internal rotation gait pattern. And instead of being internally rotated, most of my steps have an external rotation, which again shows my body compensating for tightness in my hip flexors. And this psoatic limp is identified by that swinging pattern as we were looking at it right here. We'll go through, and that's the beginning of the video. So overall, both anterior and posterior views show that I have a psoatic limp, and the internal rotation gait pattern can be shown that, or it shows me that I do have tightness in the psoas complex of my body.